Welcome to the Soul on Fire show. I am so excited today because one of my best friends in the entire world is on the show. She's my soul sister, my soul family, and we are going to deep into the quantum fields. We're going to talk about quantum entanglement and truly changing dynamics, your identity, and understanding money and understanding business and being a woman empowered in your power, bringing light to the world. We have such a powerful show today, guys. Thank you for being here live. Thank you for being on the replay. Today is Wednesday, so we get to teach on Wednesdays, and I love Wednesdays. We are finally live again, and thanks for your patience with everything the last couple of weeks. I am truly blessed to be here, and today is one of my favorite shows because it's one of my favorite people in the entire world. I'm going to bring her on right away because I want you guys to get as much of her as possible, so I'm not going to do my own segment today, but we are going to talk about understanding money in the quantum fields. We're going to also understand how it looks like as a woman entrepreneur and truly bringing your business and your life to the next level and coming from a different identity and letting go of the past identities and understanding that it is all possible. So my dear friend Mary Huang helps female visionaries get deep into their soul and clarify their purpose so she can birth her legacy, project into the world knowing she's made a meaningful impact with her life for future generations. She truly transforms lives, guys, and this is going to be one of my favorite shows, again, because she's one of my favorite people in the entire world. And so the synchronicities and the synergies between us are just incredible. Sit down, grab a cup of coffee, and sit with us for the next hour. We're going quantum, and we're going to go deep into understanding the energetic body, the emotional body, the physical body, and the mental body, and how you tie it all in, and how you could actually manipulate time and space and become a different version of you. I am so excited to bring you on. Hi, Mary. How are you?
Oh my gosh, Noelle, you got me blushing over here, girl. I love you so freaking much, and I'm so grateful that we have found each other on planet Earth again in order to serve humanity and the planet once again, because we've done this so many times. Mm-hmm. And it's so fun. And now, we link up and we get to share this with people who are ready to hear this, because not everybody is, and that's okay. But whoever is ready, you get to leap forward quickly, quantum leap forward into the life you actually want.
I love that. And so my audience, as you know, is like your audience. They're deep into the quantum fields. They understand emerging science and spirituality. Let's talk about, first of all, who you are and what you've gone through and how you got to where you are, because you're such a powerful leader. You have multiple businesses that are knocking it out of the park. You're changing massive lives. You've shared stages with some of the greatest people, Deepak and Les Brown, and you're a best-selling author. Tell us about your journey and getting there, because honestly, as a female entrepreneur, one of the biggest things is our belief systems that we have to overcome to get to where we are, right?
100%. Honestly, when we start an interview with someone and we read the bio and we're like, wow, this person is so shiny and amazing. Mm-hmm. But let's get real right now. Let's just put that to the side, because that's decades of heart-wrenching work and peeling back the onion layers and not understanding quantum leaping until a few years ago, and how it can take so long to get there. But it's all part of the journey. It's kind of like Goldilocks. If we don't experience the slowness and the tediousness of it until we reach the really fast-paced way of leaping forward, we're not going to truly appreciate or understand the contrast. And so I think living on planet Earth, where there is polarity and, light and dark, although it's so painful to go through that tunnel of darkness of transformation, or living on planet Earth where so much seems to be increasingly more stressful, more fear-based, more and more overwhelm, people just not knowing how to handle it, not having tools. There's contrast though, because when we can surround ourselves with people, that's tip number one, association. You have got to get yourself to be surrounded by the people who are on the path in front of you. If you surround yourself with the people way ahead of you that it makes you feel uncomfortable to be near them, those are the people you want to be with, because they can help you. And I promise you, the people who've really made it, who are serving the light, they want to serve. We work so hard to go through that dark tunnel, dark nights of the soul again and again. I mean, I have pages and pages of how many times I've fallen into a pit And sometimes it's the same dang pit.
Yes, yes. And I think that we've gone through some of those pits together, right? And it's, the journey of understanding that, one, the support, I love what you said, and the support system that you have been such an incremental part of my success along the journey the last, and we find each other when we need each other, right? It's amazing. Yeah. And I think the other thing that you said is community, right? You put yourself in a room, and we're doing this event in Sundance, which is, the room is incredibly powerful and high vibrational people, but the only way to transform your life out of that darkness is to truly understand the light within you. Let's talk about that, and let's talk about the power within you, and how when you are in the darkness, what specifically is some key takeaways for our viewers that they can do, because this is, but this is both yours and my pocket, but what can they do specifically when they're in the darkness to get to a brighter place, to get to other situations, becoming a different identity? Because as well as I do, that your unconscious cannot become an identity unless you fully embody it, and your unconscious is okay with that, right? So working with your unconscious belief systems in your past, but not staying there.
100%. It has to start from within. That was the next step I was going to go to, because in order for you to be able to have the right associations around you, you first have to do step one, which is work internally. Your self-image is everything, because it's informing you of who you think you are. And so if we've had parents that say, who do you think you are? You can't do that. You're not good enough. All these kind of judgments. As a child, we're going to keep that in, and it's informing our every decision. Relationships, what we eat and drink, business decisions. So when you find yourself in a pit, and now I've been in so many pits that after a while, there was literally like a mattress and like a blanket in there, because it was the comfort zone. Until we realized, like, wait a minute, I want a different comfort zone. Let's patch that up. So part of it is imagery. Getting to your subconscious mind. If you want something really simple, you can go on YouTube, or you can hire someone who understands NLP, neuro-linguistic programming, which we both do very well, or hypnosis. But you can listen to subliminals, where you're falling asleep and you're listening. So it's bypassing your conscious mind, so you're not fighting with it. So many times the war is within us. Maybe all the time the war is within us, and then we're the projector. We're the movie projector of what we believe internally. Why that explains why we can live on one planet, all of us, almost 8 billion of us, and some people don't really have that much problems, and some are struggling homeless on the street, or whatever kind of traumas. We've both been through a lot of traumas, so there's no judgment. We speak from experience. So what's a practical thing you can do? You could do that. It's free. Read books about how to shift your self-image. You basically have to retrain your brain every single day. As soon as you wake up, you have to just leave your eyes closed and imagine. The first step before being able to imagine is know what you want. If you don't know where you want to go, how are you going to get there? Now, I can say though, and let me see what you think, when you're deep in that pit, it's really hard. It's like someone broke a bone and the muscle atrophied. So to tell the person who has atrophied muscle to train their brain to think not positively, but to think in a way that's going to develop their self-image differently is so difficult. It's like asking them to lift something really heavy when they have atrophied muscles. Have you experienced that?
Yeah, I have. And I also believe that contrast is there to teach us the other version of us. And so vibrationally, in the vibrational fields, right, in the electromagnetic fields, it's the thoughts and the heightened sense of emotions that bring on. So thoughts become patterns, patterns become beliefs, and beliefs become reality. And so in the contrast, what you have created is a higher version of yourself that is at the other end of the frequency, right? And understanding and learning to deal with the contrast. That's a huge thing with me, is what I teach, is that acceptance of the contrast and taking steps every single day to feel better, to not be at that lower vibration, right? So if you're at guilt and shame, or if you're at really low vibrations of abandonment or things like that, that's what's going to show up in your reality. And when you do the work, the inner work, you're bringing yourself to a higher vibration, right? And the contrast is showing you, hey, this is where you are right now, but this is where, the opposite is where you need to be. Let's talk about that and money, because especially with women in this beautiful entrepreneurial world. I believe without question that being an entrepreneur is probably one of the hardest journeys of my life, because it allowed me to face my money issues. Like you and I both, you grew up in, we had a lot. We had a lot growing up, and it was beautiful. But my money came from men or other people, right? And so my money story had to be rewritten as an entrepreneur, because it wasn't, oh, I went to work as a therapist and then came home, or as a counselor and had a paycheck. I had to figure out how to have money on my own, but then I had managed money, and I never had to do that, right? My ex-husband was a financial consultant. My grandfather was a multimillionaire, right? And so I never had to learn about money and the relationship with money as an entrepreneur. But I think it's one of the most important parts of understanding as a female entrepreneur, especially the stories behind money and the feeling of money and understanding what money is as a resource. Let's talk about that, because I think that that's such a powerful thing in this society, especially with women.
Oh, especially right now. And honestly, not even just entrepreneurs. I think all humans, but my passion is always with the woman first, because we've got a lot of programming through the generations, through the cultures that are expected of our gender roles to be a more subservient role, especially from the Asian culture. And a lot of cultures still have it like that. And we may dress it up so that it looks fancy, but it is still very much that way. And the reason why I really elevated myself to say, I declare that I am going to master the money game, because one of my stories is that there's so many, but the most recent one was that the divorce wipes people out if it's not an amicable one. And I left behind $1 million life and faced poverty, food stamps, credit card debt. And I prayed and I said, and I jumped into the quantum field and I say, bring me mentors who are going to show me the path. And not only did I find my mentors, they taught me how to create my own financial services business, so that I can, now I've carved out the path that they've led me down. And now I can help other women, not just women, but families and baby boomers who are retiring. People right now, it's so scary out there. People don't know what to do, who to trust. If you go on Google or YouTube, it's like, you don't know that you can trust that information. So you need to go to people that you can trust and ask them. So back to your question, money is so important, because I have a similar situation as you, growing up with opulence, but never taught how to earn, never taught how to manage. It's so disempowering. And now having 2 daughters, I have to be the one to break that chain of basically a woman being a chattel. We were fortunate, right? We were fortunate to be someone's chattel. But now we're in a different era. Now we want to be empowered and understand money. So I think if we talk about the quantum field, there's a lot of, first, you got to get still, meditate after knowing exactly what it is that you want, and jump to that other field and meet your twin who's already mastered that. And then you bring that information back to this timeline. Well, you're basically merging the timelines. And then now you're living here with that reality, knowing that it's unfolding until you see it. So you've got to believe it until you see it. And then day in and day out, you have got to continuously train your brain as much as you can and make it a game. I do. So I have a pair of slippers. Did I tell you this? I have a pair of pink slippers. Oh my God, they're so cute.
I probably have the same, because we're the same human. Oh my God, mine are so similar. I swear.
Really? Oh my God. I believe we completely.
I have almost the same slippers. We're the same human, I swear.
I have multiple things all day long. Like I have cards, I have crystals, I have jewelry, I have slippers that they are programmed specifically, energetically, neurologically, that when I put it on, I am this character. I am this person that I am training myself to merge with the frequency as consistently long as possible, stretches of time. Because time is only here in this 3D plane. So if I can keep on reminding myself through this necklace or this earring or this pen, or it could be absolutely anything, a song, that it triggers that belief and knowing that I am right now in this moment, that person that I am training myself to be so that I can fulfill my destiny. Everything I do is about helping people and continuing for myself to create legacies. That's why I'm the legacy architect, whether it's birthing a project or creating a financial legacy, like it's all legacy.
I love that. And let's talk about legacy and how important that is in not the egoic sense of I want to be, I want to be a legacy, but legacy in the sense of bringing God in us, through us, out into the world, right? And understanding that that is our legacy in our generational time, right? We get to go into the quantum fields. We get to become a better version of ourselves. We get to die to the old version of ourselves every single day to bring God's legacy through us out to the world, right?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Thank you so much for bringing God into it. God is everything. When I thought that I just wanted to get out of this planet, just take me home, yep.
I was like, yeah, this humanness, not for me. I'm done with being human.
Yeah. I know that we have fulfilled our destiny finally in this lifetime. But hey, it's fun. It's fun. It's tough being a human. It's one of the hardest things, but it also is one of the most joyful, creative experiences. That's why we come back.
Yep.
And I believe there's a correlation between how deep you go into that pit, the abyss. There's a direct correlation from there to how high you soar, so that you have the ability to be visible, to spread that light and truth, and to as wide as possible on the planet. And then if you anchor it in, that's the legacy. So we want to be channeling in God's light and truth and love, and be that anchor of a vessel on the planet while we're here, and then link up with others doing the same exact thing, who understand who they are, which is what I just described. So linking up with light leaders on the leading edge, anchoring in the light of peace and harmony for the planet and humanity for all generations, and then that ripple effect.
I absolutely love that. Let's talk about anchoring, because it's really important when you're not grounded in, we could go play in the quantum fields. You and I work into the quantum fields, right? It's what we do. And so in the 5D, it's amazing and fun and playful, and you and I can escape a reality in the 5D all we want. But let's talk about bringing that energy back from the 5D into the 3D, anchoring it and grounding it, being in your frame, in your physical frame, and understanding, because I think that this part for you as well, I think you and I talked about this, is that we went so deep into the quantum fields with all of our work, and as being shamans and all the work that we do in the spiritual realm, we went deep into the quantum fields, but we also escaped there, right? And then what we had to do was figure out how to actually, I think you and I and most people on this channel that are empaths and stuff started at our crown and brought it down to our root, as opposed to starting at the ego and moving it up to the spirituality. We started in the spirituality and we're like, oh my gosh, how do we do this in the human world? How do we embody this in our frame, in our humanness? Let's talk about grounding and how important that is, and being in your frame and bringing out everything that's inside of you out to the world, and how to do that, because it's such a powerful thing to be in your frame and be grounded. And when you're not grounded, it's, that's when chaos happens, right?
And I've been in all of those stages. So it's a process. We're born, we've inherited all of the traumas and all of the goodness from the beginning of the time of our bloodline, our lineage. So we are a body vessel, and we've now inherited all these things, not just eye color, that's impacting us. And now we have to learn how to heal and transform, transmute all of that. And it's not an overnight thing, even though we can go faster now than ever before because of knowledge that we understand, but it's still a birthing process. And right. And so it's necessary, it's critical, and you can't spiritually bypass. You have to go through the process of the cocoon and transformation so that you can understand what happened, and then have more compassion for people going through that. And so, people who are born into trauma, and now, first of all, it's part of the human experience. It's just gradations of it. So whatever trauma we've had, to escape into the 5D feels excellent, because you don't have any of that pain and anguish that we're trying to suppress, didn't have the tools to transform, or all of that. So a lot of us spiritual people end up, or especially empaths, who don't understand psychic hygiene and how to have the boundaries to keep that out and clean it up, we end up floating out in space because it's easy.
Mm.
But then we don't learn the material world. We don't master money because that's part of the 3D world, the currency of how we can do trade here. In fact, what I want to say about money is this: money is innocent.
Mm.
Money's innocent. Like, that came to me, and I'm going to make a t-shirt. I'm going to like,
I'm going to pause on that. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to go deep into the energy of money, because I think it's such a powerful thing in this world right now, where the society is in so much lack and mindset. But we're going to pause there. We're going to take a quick break, and then we're going to come back, and we're going to go deep into the vibration of money. I'm super excited. Thanks for being here, Mary. I love you so much. We'll be right back, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. Thank you so much for being on the Soul on Fire show. Today I am with my dear friend Mary Huang, and we are talking all things quantum. We're talking about quantum leaping and becoming a different identity, how to embody a different identity into the quantum fields, going through the dark night of the soul and what that looks like. But even more important, now we're talking about the vibration of money. Let's talk about money and what that actually is. I understand that money is a resource, and it allows me to bring my gifts out to the world and leave a legacy. What is your definition of money, and how do you actually use money to transform people's lives? Not in the sense of the egoic way of, oh my gosh, here's a Mercedes or a yacht or whatever, which is wonderful. I love opulence.
Yes.
You know, I do. Right?
Yes.
But money in the vibrational sense, like, how do you embody wealth in the vibrational sense?
There's so many ways. And what I want to say about money is that money is innocent. And it's so unfair that it's been, well, it's not unfair, actually. It chose as an energy to be this conduit. It's like a mirror. And it has allowed itself to be, let all the generations after generations to project all of their people's scarcity mentality, all the things that people do and think about money that's negative and positive is on there. And so now we pick up, you know, a bill, and we're like, all this meaning is in it. So we need to realize that, like, let's just go back to neutral, because if everything is just matter and energy vibrating at a different rate, then why are we making money the enemy? Why are we making it evil? Is it really, or is it the experiences and the stories that we've inherited through family stories, what we're watching on movies and TVs, and all the ways that we're programmed? And can we change that? Absolutely, we can, and we have to, because right now we are living on planet Earth, and money is the language. It's the currency that pays rent, mortgage, car. Like, you want all the creature comforts, you got to have it. So the sooner we can see that actually money is innovative, money is creative. I'm so grateful that I don't have to lug around a wagon full of cattle. It's great with you. For a quantum session.
That's fantastic. Agreed. Yeah, I don't want to, or, you know, it used to be, here's my cow, I'm going to give you a head of lettuce, right? Or cabbage, right? And so let's talk about understanding that in, especially females and women, right? Understanding and empowering through money, not in, you know, how can money be empowering in the sense where it's not used as a weapon? Because I believe in today's society, it's used as a weapon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, I know in my life, it has been a control tactic, right? And so just a quick story that I was sharing yesterday, when I was in my early 20s and I was scouted in Taiwan, someone wanted to sign a contract with me for like 10 years to be an actress, singer, dancer, whatever. And I didn't know how to do any of that. They were like, what do you want to do? We'll train you. And my father, who was high profile, said, well, if you get kidnapped, I'm not going to pay the ransom for you. And that's just one of very many shocking experiences that I had growing up around money. And so I only share that to say, what do you think a person like that who went through that, what kind of beliefs did they create around money? You know? And so we have to understand that we are like a computer, like an AI, our brain. And whatever you experienced, big and small, it adds up. And if we don't go in and have an accounting over what kind of thoughts were programmed in there, we're just going to be this robot that keeps repeating the same thing, wondering why. And so I forgot the question that you just asked me about money. Oh, for women. Go ahead.
And the vibration, like how do you embody the higher vibration of money, what it's meant for, not for the ego, but you can acquire and connect to a yacht or whatever it may be, but how do you use money as a resource for service? I don't even love the word service, but to bring out to the world as a higher vibration, I guess. How do you find how do you teach your clients to find the higher vibration of money is what I'm asking.
We get to the molecular and cellular level, right? Because then there's no judgment when we get it down to the building blocks of it. And so a lot of it is meditation. A lot of it is eyes closed, taking you on a journey. And you need to showing them how to get into their cells and in between the cells and in the blood and, the chi, everything that the vibration, the frequency and the pitch and the octave, all of it of who we are, the rhythm, everything has a rhythm. If you actually sit down and tune in, every different object has a rhythm. So you just got to be with it, feel it, talk to it. Your audience is intelligent, spiritually, so they know what we're talking about. If you just be with it, listen to it, have a conversation. There's a lot of ways you got to build a relationship with it. And then, of course, it's always taking stock about where we came from so we can clear that out. So we're matching the higher frequency of what it is that you're manifesting. So how do you tune into the higher frequency? It comes down to the intention. I want to go into the field, or I want to go into meditation because it feels very similar, because really we're just using our imagination, which is the tool. And you go to that place where in that reality, money is neutral, it's clean, it's the reality you want. There's peace, there's harmony, there's collaboration, there's creativity. It's everything you want, whatever it is, you define it. And you merge with it and you bring it back. And then you are it. And so your job here on this planet where we're all hypnotized to forget who we are, that's the job. You got to keep on reminding yourself your intention and who you are. And if you program it in cellularly, and then tools, it's a bunch of tools all day long until it becomes a lifestyle. So drinking really clean water, and then you program it. You program your water. Okay, what am I going to program? Well, right now, let's say we want $100,000. Okay. And you put it to your third eye and you project into it. Yeah, let's do it. So here we go, everyone. Follow us, because this is glass and our third eye. We're just going to project the image of this water has the frequency of $100,000. Okay. And then we drink it.
Okay. And we drink more of it.
Yeah.
Keep drinking.
That tasted
delicious.
Totally delicious.
And so that, I believe, you said such powerful nuggets in there, but money is clean and neutral. That resonated with my soul when you said that, was because it was wiping away all of the belief systems of what the paradigms are around money, right? I mean, and so let's talk about starting the journey as an entrepreneur, and people that are in a position where they either are very, very successful or they're not, but the upper limits. Let's talk about breaking through your upper limits. And you and I believe, both went through this every single stage of our journey, right? Is that, I think we both, you came from a 6-figure job too, right? And then left corporate, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
And so we both had 6-figure jobs right out of grad school. We did really, really well, but then had to do it on our own and get to 6 figures, breaking through the 7 and 8 figures. Let's talk about the upper limits and understanding your zone of excellence versus your zone of genius, and moving with money, with relationships into the zone of genius, as opposed to staying in the zone of excellence, which will keep you very safe, right? Because you're really good at your zone of excellence, but your zone of genius is your gift to the world that you're supposed to bring out to the world. Let's talk about breaking through that and how to do that.
I think no matter what level we're up leveling through, there's always going to be an upper limit. No matter where we are, there's always going to be. And when you mentioned relationship, I was like, ooh, because a lot of times, again, our associations around us, who are we yoked up with? And if I don't know if, oh, I think you're frozen. Okay. So I'll just keep going. Yeah, it's okay. It matters who we are yoked up with, because whatever their belief system is, if we talk about quantum, when you're sleeping next to someone or you're intimate with them, that energy transference between the two people is absolutely going to impact you in your life, in your business, in your health, in every aspect that you are as a human. And if that person doesn't genuinely want you to succeed, that's going to be really showing up in a lot of ways that sabotage. You're going to sabotage yourself without even realizing. And so that's one thing you have to realize is who you're surrounding yourself with. And you gotta, it's tough, but you gotta break away from the things that don't serve you. And it takes a lot of courage to be able to do that. And so whenever you have upper limits, you just have to realize who can help you, who's the mentor, who's already broken through to the other side, who understands where you are and can guide you through to the other side.
I think that you're frozen, Mary. So I'm not sure if they could, if everyone can in the comments could let me know if they can hear Mary or not. But I don't know if maybe try leaving and coming back in. Can you guys hear me that are on the live? This is the third week in a row I've had technical difficulties. It is Mercury retrograde. So what I will talk about, and I think that Mary's frozen, so I'll continue what she was saying. I'm not sure what she was saying, is that money is a vibration, right? And so understanding that you get to go into the vibration of money, you get to become a different version of yourself. You get to actually move into a version of you. And how I teach it is you actually have to give yourself an alter ego, right? And understanding that you get an alter ego, and Beyonce calls her Sasha Fierce. When she goes on stage, she actually becomes Sasha Fierce. And knowing and understanding that you can be or do or say anything that you want to do, you just have to actually become that alter ego. I think Mary's back. Mary, you're back. And so I was talking about becoming an alter ego and moving into the vibration of becoming an alter ego and knowing with all that you are that person, right? And so as it's already done, you're living as if it's already done. Mm-hmm. Let's talk about that. Or are you frozen again?
Am I? Can you hear me?
No, you're still frozen. I'm not quite sure what's going on, but I'll continue to talk. They're having some difficulty streaming is what it said. So again, guys, so becoming the alter ego is such a huge component of who you are. And when you understand that there is already a version of you, there's a version of you that is living in this, everything that you've ever wanted and all the desires that are in your heart are already there. And the most powerful thing that you can do is understand that you are more powerful than you will ever know, meaning that you can actually become anything you want. And if the desire is in your heart, then it will move through you and it will actually come through you if you allow it. You have to actually do the inner work and break down all the barriers, but that version of you already exists. And it's just tapping into the energies of that and becoming that version of you vibrationally matched. So like attracts like. If you're a vibrational match to it, it will show up in your reality. I think you're back.
Yay, I hope so. I heard what you said. Am I frozen?
You're freezing a little bit. I'm not quite sure if with your internet or what's going on, but are you still frozen?
Am I frozen? Oh, no.
You are still frozen. Nope, now you're back.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to.
Can you guys hear me okay? She left the show to see if I can keep on talking. I'm just going to keep talking. So yeah, I caught the end of what she was saying. Can you hear me okay, even when you're out?
We're going to take a quick break, guys, and try to get this technical difficulty all worked out. I'm not quite sure what's going on. We'll take a quick break, and we will be right back, guys. Hi guys, welcome back. I'm so sorry we're having technical difficulties again. Not quite sure what's going on. The last 3 weeks we are in Mercury retrograde, so a little bit crazy ride with technology and working through it. Thank you guys for your patience. We are talking about understanding the vibratory fields and becoming a vibrational match to who you are and who you want to become. It is absolutely imperative to understand that there is a version of you that you can absolutely come in to merge into. And knowing and understanding that in the quantum fields, everything is already created and everything exists. But if there's a desire on your heart, it means that it's trying to come through you to a better version of you. Now, since Mary's not here, what I do want to talk about is contrast, right? What contrast looks like in the quantum fields. And so contrast is an incredible, important part of the journey, because what happens is that if your emotional body, so say you're feeling fear or anger or hurt or sadness, that is actually showing you, it is a guided system to where you want to go. And so it is the vibration of exactly what's showing up in your reality is exactly the vibration that you're at, right? And so you have to raise your vibration. God's never going to come down to your vibration, meaning that you have to actually raise your vibration to your desire. Your desire is at a higher frequency, and your lower frequencies are always on fear, anger, hurt, sadness, guilt, and shame. I'm not good enough. I'm not worthy. I'm not safe, secure, and protected. Those are always a lower vibration. And so understanding that God's going to come down to the lower vibrations for you, but he's going to show you your frequency, and he's going to show you where you're at, and then move you through that in I call it the path of most allowing, because where your subconscious mind is where you're going to allow your vibration to be, whether it's with money or whether it's with a relationship or whatever it may be. I'm going to try to see if we can get Mary back on here. Mary, I know that we're having some technical difficulties on her end. You are frozen on my end, though. It looks like you're frozen on my end. Am I frozen with you?
No, you were earlier, but we're both good. Oh yeah, you look frozen. Darn it. I rebooted everything. How about now?
Am I frozen?
Yes.
Oh,
no.
Well, you're not frozen.
I'm not frozen? Okay. Well, then I'm just going to tag team what you were saying, and whoever's frozen will just... Are we good? Oh, dang. So I'll keep going because she's frozen on my end. And I think what she's saying is the lower vibration is always going to attract more lower vibration. But you guys are so intelligent, you know this. How do you step it up? When you come to the courage, you remember that there's a scale of emotions that have frequency. There was a scientist that measured that. So all the lower ones like poverty, anger, sadness, depression, they're down low. And we can step it up one by one. And when you get to courage, that's when things change. It's about the 200 frequency mark. And that's when you start to have more ability to move up the ladder of frequency. And you go little by little until you reach as high as Christ consciousness. That'd be great if somebody here could reach that, because it would lift so many more humans up. You're not frozen.
I think that you're frozen and you're not coming through. I'm not quite sure what's happening. So I actually think we should probably just end the broadcast, because maybe just reschedule it for a different day, but it's not seeming to be working right now. So I think that we're just going to end the show. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties, guys. I think that we will have Mary back on as soon as I possibly can, and we will talk about it. She just keeps freezing every moment, and I'm not quite sure what's going on. So I think it's probably better if my sound isn't good. My sound's good. Am I okay? If I'm okay, I'll continue the show. I'm not quite sure if it's on my end or Mary's end, but no, I think I'm going to end the show here because I think I'm frozen on my end as well. Thank you guys for your patience. I love you. You are more powerful than you will ever know. I'm sorry for the technical difficulties. Go get them, guys. Crush this week. You are more powerful than you will ever know.